And then he's like, he's giving me his phone to look at the phone. So I looked at the phone. The man started shouting at me. I don't know what the hell you're saying, but we can both start shouting too. So it's quite late now, but I wanted to speak about something that I think is quite important to talk about. I don't know whether I'm going to include this in my Fethiye vlog or my Istanbul vlog, because it actually happened in Istanbul. Irregardless, I still had a really good time in Istanbul, but I do think it's important to highlight some issues you might face when you're solo traveling, especially if you're a woman in solo traveling, and if you're a black woman solo traveling as well, because we do face, in my personal opinion, a higher risk, because one, we're women, two, we're black, depending on which countries you're going to, and then if you're black and you're dark skin, that's a whole nother question as well. If you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen that I've been mentioning in my stories that the taxi drivers in Istanbul are mad. In fact, they're madder than mad. They're lunatics, okay? Not all of them. I had 2 taxi drivers that were really, really nice, and I actually kept their cards, and every time I needed a taxi, I would try and call them, but then obviously if I was in a place that I didn't have Wi-Fi and I couldn't message them on WhatsApp, then I would just hail a taxi on the street. I have seen online that some people were able to get Uber in Istanbul, but everywhere I asked and everywhere I looked said that Uber had been banned in Istanbul. So I'm like, how do you guys get an Uber? Because I would have probably got Uber. I had 24 hours in Istanbul, or 1 day in Istanbul. So the night where I was going out in the evening with my friend, I took a taxi from my hotel. Now the receptionist at the hotel helped me get that taxi. That's the guy on my Instagram, like he was a really old guy, and I think he was trying to relive his youth by number 1, speeding, which was dangerous, and I was trying to tell him, okay, calm down, and he was just like playing loud music. I think he was trying to appease me because I was young, so he was trying to like get the disco vibe going, but I just thought, old man, I'm gonna need you to keep both your hands on the wheel, because he kept on just being like, number 1, this is bad, and I want to say a reckless driver, but do you know what I mean? Like, some people may say I'm a reckless driver, you know, I might do a skank or 2 while I'm driving, I might have my hands off the wheel, allegedly. DVLA are not going to suspend my license because that is my livelihood. It was too much, and also you're old, you might have a heart attack, I don't know, I'm not here to die, I'm here for a good time. So that was that. And also at the end when I was paying him and he was like, thank you baby, I just found that so creepy. Like, you're an old man, he felt like an old man, and then his teeth were just, the whole situation was So that's when I was taking the taxi to Zuma, and then when I got to Zuma, realized Zuma was actually closed for refurbishments. That should have been an indication that the night was about to go wayward. So when I came out of Zuma, there's a restaurant that's right next to the entrance of the mall, and I went in there, and Zuma is in an area where you have a lot of the high-end luxury shopping stores. So you have Miu Miu, Prada, Hermes, Chanel, it's all there. So like all the cars lined up are people's personal fancy cars. Like the cars I was seeing, matte black Range Rovers, Maseratis. I mean, it was a beautiful sight, but I was not seeing any yellow taxis that I could hail. So I went into the restaurant there and asked the guy if he can help me call a taxi. So I think he called one of his friends that was a taxi guy. That was all fine. The guy came, guy was fine. And then, so here's a tip that I learned from the receptionist at my hotel. And he said, whenever you get into the taxi, try and agree the price with them beforehand. These are his words, and he's Turkish. He was like, some of them are crazy. So every time I go in a taxi, I would always agree the price before I got in. And some of them will be like, no, just let them go. There's 100 taxis. Istanbul is the only place that I've seen where taxi people actually reject a job. I would show them, oh, I want to go here. They'll be like, no, too far, traffic, and just zoom off. Or sometimes they'll just look at it and be like, and zoom off. And I'm thinking, you people don't want to make money. So I just started having that same mentality too. Like, if you're not going to agree a price, I'm just going to wait for someone who will. And that's how I found my 2 good taxi guys. But anyway, so he was not letting me agree a price at all. He was like, meter. And I just thought, well, I'm in this area, I can't see a lot of yellow taxis. This guy has just called you for me, let me just take it, and I'll take the L when it comes to the charge. Or if it's too much, I'll just dash you the money that I have, or the money that I think it's gonna cost, and get out of here. This taxi man was madder than mad. Firstly, he went the wrong way. So because I knew it wasn't on the meter, I was tracking myself on the map for the route that he was meant to use. So I saw him doing that thing where they like to loop around each other if they think you don't know where you're going, to obviously make the price hike up because it's on the meter. So I said to him, why are you looping? I can see you looping. The man started shouting at me. in Turkey. And I was just looking at him like, I don't know what the hell you're saying, but we can both start shouting too. So me too, I started shouting in English. But then I thought, right, I'm in this man's cab, I'm looking around, we're in the middle of the motorway, I don't really have a lot of options here, let me just shut up. And when we get to the destination, like I said, if it's too much, I'm just gonna dash you the money that I have and take it and leave it. What are you gonna do to me? So first he looped himself. Okay, that was strike one. Second strike was, he was like, oh, I'm going this way because there's gonna be traffic. The way he went, there was traffic. And he got so frustrated, like he was banging on the thing like, oh my god, traffic. And I just thought, why are you shouting at me, man? Don't you live here? Aren't you used to traffic? So then he literally turned around, bearing in mind I could see what he's doing on the map. So he turned around and literally went back on himself again. This time I know he did it because of the traffic, but in my mind I was thinking, this is the original route you should have taken, so this is your fault. Once again, I'm paying you what I think this trip is meant to cost, not whatever is on that meter. And I could see that meter hiking up, and I just thought, we'll both be mad in this car because I'm not paying you that price that I'm seeing on meter. So then he's gone into the way he should have originally gone, and we're like maybe 5 minutes away from the venue, and there's a lot of traffic. There's a lot of traffic right now. But the way this man is driving is like, stop, 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 getting so close to people. So there came a point where there's a Range Rover in front of him, like this big massive truck. You're this small yellow car. He got so close to the woman, and then the woman was trying to reverse. He could see the woman is trying to reverse. Why would you get so close to him? Lo and behold, the woman banged into before the woman banged into his car, he got close to her, and then he jumped out of the car randomly and started arguing with the woman, saying, move forward, move forward. I'm thinking, this man is mad. So then he got back in, and lo and behold, because where we stopped was like on a hill, but like, sorry, a hill going up, uphill. When we started moving again, the woman, when she tried to move her car, went smack bang into him. And then she tried to run away because she knew what she did. And then he was like speeding, trying to get to her. Bearing in mind, we're in traffic. So he got close to the woman, literally jumped out the car, started shouting at her. And I could see the woman in her car. She was like this woman on her own. The car's too big for you, babes, but none of my business. He literally tried to open the woman's door as if to fight her. It was at that point that I said, God has given me an opportunity. I opened the door and I literally ran. There was like a little cobbled road. I literally ran through the cobbled road, and then there was this like seafood restaurant, and I ran in, and there was this young Turkish guy. He said, you want table? You want table? I said, no, I'm hiding from a taxi, He was like, okay, go in the toilet, go in toilet. And he was so lovely. He helped me hide, and they had a terrace. I was looking at my taxi driver, and then he was trying to look for me while arguing with the woman. And then eventually he drove away because I think his car wasn't that badly damaged. And I just thought, yeah, do you know what? You're mad. Like I said, the bar was literally about 5-minute driving, 10-minute walk. I asked the guy in the restaurant to get me another taxi because I was wearing heels, so I didn't want to walk. He found me another taxi, got to the bar, had a lovely time. Well, I say I had a lovely time. I literally only lasted about 30 minutes because I realized, as much as I was like, oh, when the club is open, I'm going to go and dance like David dance, all I did was sway. And I think it reminded me why I don't really go to the clubs and bars and stuff like that. I'm a concert type of girl. So yeah, I was there for 30 minutes and I left. So that was the second mad taxi driver. But the maddest of all was this last one. So I was coming out of the establishment and I was looking for a taxi, and then this taxi came up. Showed him my hotel. How much is it gonna be? I knew it was only meant to be 30 lira. I was like, 30 lira, 30 lira. He was like, no, 40. I said, no, 30 lira. He was like, 40. I said, okay, be on your way. He was like, okay, I'll do it for 30. I said, thank you very much. So I got in. He literally drove about 30 seconds in. Then he stopped and he was trying to say something to me. I didn't understand what he was saying. He said, what's the address? I was like, I literally showed you the hotels. But I showed him again, gave him the full address, and he said, oh, there's a lot of traffic, so it has to be 40. I said, no. I said 30. He was like, no, it has to be 40. I said, no, 30 or I'm getting out of this car. So then he was trying to say something in Turkish to me again. Once again, didn't understand what he was saying. So he got Google Translate. And in Google Translate, to be fair, at this point, I should have known that this is just gonna go left. He said in Google Translate, are you in the hotel by yourself? I said, no, I'm with a friend. Then he said, I like you very much. I said, I'm married. As in, I had my ring. I was like, I'm married. And then he put on Google Translate, are you married? Yes. And then he said, okay, it's gonna be 40 then. So I said, you know what, bye. Got out of the car. Because he only drove like 30 seconds, I was gonna walk back to the establishment and try to get another taxi. I was walking back, the guy literally reversed his car, bearing in mind, this is like a long, like, quite busy road. And then he's like, he's giving me his phone to look at the phone. So I looked at the phone. Even thinking about it now, yeah, I wish I punched him in the face or something. But as a solo female traveler, and because I'd had so many cab drivers move mad that night, I don't know, he could have had a knife or something in his taxi. In the Google Translate, it literally said, if you make love to me, it will be 30 lira. I don't know what to be more offended about. One, that you thought that I was a prostitute or that I would have sex with you to have not even a free taxi ride, a discounted taxi ride. Or you thought that my lovely lady flower is only worth 10 lira. 10 lira is about £1 or less, 99p. I'm offended. I literally looked at the phone, kissed my teeth and started walking off, and I just thought, I'm over it. Over this entire... I just want to get to my hotel at this point. So when I got back to the establishment, like I went to one of the security guards and I just said to him, oh, I'm trying to get a taxi. Obviously I don't speak Turkish, like, can you help me? He helped me get a taxi, like a proper taxi guy. And this taxi guy was really nice. He was quite old. Someone's messaging me, but I think also the reason why I picked him was because he had like the Quran hanging on his windscreen, so I thought, okay, this is a good man, and also this is an old man, so he's not going to proposition me for sex. We were passing this place where they make waffles and it's near the riverside, and I was like, oh, do you mind stopping so I can get a waffle? And he was fine with that, still charged me the agreed price, got me to my hotel, and I was safe. Moral of this story is just have your wits about you when you're solo traveling, especially if you're a woman, because there are some crazy people in this world, and men are so pathetic. Like, men are so pathetic. No matter what country you go, there will always be pathetic men. But I think you always have to err on the side of caution, especially if you're in a foreign country where you don't have family around and you don't speak the language either. So yeah, that was my experience in Istanbul. I've never been propositioned for sex before, so I just thought, you're having a bloody laugh, mate. But yeah, just be safe. Would I go back to Istanbul and solo travel? I will. I'm actually thinking of adding another Istanbul day at the end of this trip when I'm done with my second town, because I really want to go to the Sultan Kami Mosque, and I also want to go to the Grand Bazaar, but I'm gonna book a hotel that's like right next to them so I can just walk, so it's like a walking distance. I would, but that's just because I've solo traveled before and I know there's mad people everywhere. But always have your wits about you and always have some pepper spray. That's another thing. I actually had pepper spray in my bag. You know when something happens and you don't instantly think what's going on? I just kissed my teeth and walked away. But if he had gotten out of the car and tried to follow me or something, I would have pepper sprayed his eyes. Pepper him well. Because you may think you're mad, sir. I'm madder. But yeah, just be safe out there, ladies, because men are pathetic, and they're pathetic men all over this continent, or not continent, all over this entire world, unfortunately. But yeah, I thought that was something that I should include in there because I haven't seen a lot of people talk about that. Apart from that, I hadn't had any men in Istanbul proposition me for anything or be inappropriate. In fact, all of them had actually been quite nice. But I do think that experience did sort of affect me, because even today when I went to paragliding, and a lot of the paragliders were men, some of them, when they were trying to talk to me and be nice, I'll just be like, because in my mind I'm just thinking, if you ask me for anything, I swear I will just, you know, when something happens to you, you have your back up and it's like, I'm ready. I dare someone to say something dumb to me, I'm ready to flog all of you, when they were just trying to be nice. But yeah, just stay safe, guys, and have your wits about you.